put the camera in that close, I lean towards it, I think. The Type-R is a thirsty girl when you're on a track. I don't know what kind of mileage it's getting. Basically, you don't want to run it down below a half a tank. And it feels like we're putting half a tank in it every 3 sessions. 2.5, 2 sessions, 3 sessions.
All right, so here we are, day 3, Gridlife, Sunday. Last night, my eyes kind of hurt.
Hey, I played DD last night.
You did.
I'm a little spaced out, but that's not because I'm hungover. That's just me.
One thing I experienced this weekend that I really haven't seen before is like after just 2 days of straight racing on like a really tough track like this, and you're so laser focused the whole time, how stinking tired you are at the end of the day, man. I was wiped out. My eyes were all bloodshot.
Yeah, you definitely use a lot of brain, like way more than you realize in the moment. And it sounds so stupid, but like, do you have to constantly keep yourself in check to concentrate? Like, I don't know if it's a rhythm thing or because your brain's going so fast, but like, it sounds dumb. Like, what do you mean you have to like remind yourself to concentrate on track? But like, you do. You're constantly like, all right, don't. Because what happens is, if you space out for 1/10 of a second, that can be 300 feet or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you miss lines.
Yeah.
And then when you miss a line, it compounds, you know, because you're off your rhythm or you're off your pace, and you got to kind of focus and bring it back.
That kind of happened to me a little bit more at Gingerman than it did here. I think that I'm just like forcing myself to be so much more alert because I know how this racetrack eats race cars.
Yeah. Compared to Gingerman, what do you think? How are you feeling after your second track day?
I was feeling pretty confident after day 2 of Gingerman 2, but I'm feeling pretty good here. I feel like that the last 2 sessions that I had, especially the final one, where I was kind of like actually getting, you know, turn 1 and turn 7 the way that I wanted them to, it's like the track is starting to really flow very well and very fast for me. My instructor, Nish, has been awesome, and he was out there on turn 7, and you know, he was all excited that I was hitting it the way I was supposed to, so I'm getting pretty excited about it, man. It's just like every other time I go out racing, I'm getting freaking hooked, you know. Now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to buy a Type-R whenever, you know, this thing's out of my life. Yeah.
That's my problem is I've got a lot of cars, y'all, and a couple of them would be cool track cars. I mean, I got a Fiesta ST that's pretty built up. I've got a CRX that's raw but built up, you know. I got an old 911, but like trying to drive any of those cars now after this Type-R, it's going to be a freaking irritation.
Yeah.
Because this car is so good.
It does so much for you. Like even the simple things like rev matching when downshifting.
Yeah.
That makes racing 1,000 times easier.
Well, like you go into turn 10A, which is the big 90-degree turn. Yeah, downhill 90-degree turn after the long straightaway. And you can just stand on the brakes and not have to worry about heel towing and losing that brake pressure and getting the car a little bit. I mean, it just does exactly what you want it to do. I think history is going to prove this thing to be one of the greats. Yeah. Only problem, the Achilles heel, is cooling.
Yeah.
With this car. Yeah, we haven't overheated it, but it will get hot. And the cooling system can cool it back down quickly. For example, what I'm doing on the back straightaway, I'm not just giving it all the beans the whole way down the straightaway, you know, and again, we're not going for time, we're going for seat time, but it'll cool itself back down real quick. I, an average Joe driver, am really not having a problem overheating it because I'm conscious that it's a problem.
Like I only had the temps really raise on me one time yesterday, and that was when I gave it my version of hell for like 3-4 laps in a row,
right.
And then it started raising. But as soon as I saw it, I kind of let off, you know, coasted, you know, just went slow for a quarter of a lap, and it was right back down. It was perfect again.
Even when Aaron's driving it comes right back down for him.
Yeah.
I think, you know, the thing that you got to remember, guys, is like it's the sweet spot, right? Like you can get 90% of a problem solved for a reasonable amount of cost and effort. to get that next 10% is going to take all your money,
Yeah.
all your time. You're going to be tearing down the car, doing all sorts of things, which are then going to cause other problems and
yeah.
other weak links and other, like, sometimes you've just got to realize,
Yeah.
let's get to that 90%, that sweet spot, and then let it be. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, 95, since we're talking percentages, 95% of the people who complain about the overheating issue do not possess the driver mod to push the car hard enough to overheat it.
Yeah, it is not a myth. It will happen, but like anything else, like crank walk on DSMs or like intermediate shaft on Porsches, people freak out online, and then you end up like thinking you shouldn't buy the car because of it. Every car is going to have its thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, dude, this is an amazing car, and with the mods we put on it, it is just, I mean, this car really, we put it out there on kind of all the different HDPE sessions. Obviously, I'm driving beginner, you're driving intermediate. We've had, you know, a couple of our buddies driving advanced, and this car eats people up. Like, there's definitely some cars out there that are faster than us, but I would say we are faster than most of the cars out there.
The ability to get in a car. These people, we've let, what, 5 or 6 people drive this car.
And they beat the hell out of it.
Within, like, a half of a lap. They are comfortable, they are driving the car fast, and I have not heard anything. Everybody gets out of the car and they go,
wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
After the second event, I'm starting to have a lot more fun. I don't know if I've said it before, Gingerman, I was getting bullied. You know, I was at a track I didn't know. I was with cars that knew the track, that were much faster, that had a lot more experience. It was basically like getting my underwear pulled over my head and getting crammed in a locker or getting a swirly or something.
You got thrown to the wolves.
Having said that, by the end of Gingerman, I was still having fun. But it was a much more panicked, scared fun. And now I feel like, okay, this track gives me room to breathe.
Yeah.
Although I kind of know this track more.
I mean, this track is dangerous because there's walls everywhere,
Well,
but it is a lot wider.
What you don't realize is your risk, your margin for error is bad. Like, you know, you're going through the S's and you're tearing through it, and you feel comfortable. But if you were to go off, you're going off fast.
I had a Miata go off right after the S's, right before that hard left there.
Yeah.
On, what is that, 6, I think?
Yeah.
It's 5 or 6, I don't remember.
Coming out of 5?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely just went straight and went off right in front of me. And the hardest part about that is you're typically kind of laser focused on the guy in front of you.
Yeah.
It took everything I had to not just follow him.
Yeah,
Like, oh no! Yeah, for a little 4-door grocery getter, this thing is kind of a monster.
It really is. And that's the cool thing about this car is that, you know, with your bolt-on mods and your tune, I mean, you know, not to plug USR, but USR, United Speed Racing, has really helped us out. And they've really pioneered this chassis in a lot of ways. But, you know, you do your bolt-ons, go get yourself a USR or a JST tune on it, and, like, you're really there. I'm not wanting for more power. That's I don't need it.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
That's one thing that whenever people get new cars, it's immediately like, okay, all you got to do is X, Y, and Z, and the car will do whatever. With this car, it really is just the most basic bolt-ons you can think of, and then this thing is a track weapon.
Yeah. Okay, so next up is a loud pit bike, and then another loud pit bike, and then after that is going to be Motovicity Speed Ring at M1 Concourse in Detroit, Michigan. M1 Concourse is kind of a country club, except instead of golf, they've got garage spaces that you can buy. So it's very corporate, it's very industry. You know, you've got Ford, GM, and Dodge down there, so there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a very cool atmosphere. A lot of the manufacturers come out for that because it is put on by Motovicity. It's honestly, like, attendance wise, it's not the biggest event of the year, but fun factor, it's one of the best of the year. It's a great time. So looking forward to that.